Greetings, beautiful people. We are back for part 3. Sorry for the delay. It was a hectic week. I just had to relax and rest from that. And schools, the first day of school is today. So I just want to go ahead and get this out the way before all of the chaos starts. So Danielle will be starting kindergarten today, and I have a 7th grader, a 4th grader, and a 3rd grader. So I just got one more to start, little Mikey. He already suspended. He can't deal with him. Even when I'm doing my schooling today, he gonna be in there with me. He not gonna mess my house up. So let's go back to the doshas. So we're gonna talk about. I hope that everybody caught up with Ayurvedic part 1 and part 2, because this is gonna all go together. So today we're gonna learn about what to look for when your doshas are out of balance. So first we're going to start with Vata. Of course, Vata is the air and the ether space. So Vata, it is dry, it's light, it's cold, it's rough, and it's mobile, like air and ether energies. So when your Vata is out of balance, you experience symptoms like poor blood circulation, feeling cold all the time, respiratory issues, heart palpitations, hearing problems, loss of senses, osteoporosis, and arthritis. So how it's out of balance in your digestive system is constipation, bloating, gas, discomfort after eating, loss of appetite, low stomach acid, and inability to assimilate nutrients from foods. So examples of it in the pelvic area include lack of menstruation, and the lack of menstruation, the word for that is amenorrhea. Here, probably said that wrong, but it's the lack of you menstruating, in inability to orgasm, vaginal dryness, loss of interest in sex, and infertility. So when you have out of balance in your mind, it includes insomnia, anxiety, flakiness, indecisiveness, moodiness, dementia, Alzheimer's, loss of memory, forgetfulness, lack of creativity, nervous impulses, mental instability, fatigue, and restlessness. So now, having a horrible throat issues this morning. So now we're going to go to Pitta, and Pitta is fire and water. And it is hot, sharp, oily, liquid, and light, just like fire and water. And to me, okay, let's go back to Vata, and let's talk about the air and the ether. So when you talk about air as one of the elements, we're talking about the mind and thoughts. So the Vatas may be always into the spirit realm, or always into their thoughts. As far as Pitta, we're talking about fire and water. So we know that fire represents kind of like, fire can represent like stamina. It can represent aggression, anger, power also. For water is like an emotion, like the emotions. Water is about emotions and peace and healing and stuff like that. So that's what I took from that. So now we know that Pitta is in charge of transformation, while Vata is in charge of the movement in your body. And so when your Pitta is out of balance, you experience foul smelling sweat, early balding or graying hair, poor eyesight, excess bowel, liver malfunctions, light sensitivity, yellow eyes and skin. In your digestive system, you experience diarrhea, hyperacidity, heartburn, and acid reflux, and stomach ulcers. And when you are out of balance in your mind, it's with anger, like I said, with the fire. You experience anger, frustration, narcissism, competitiveness, stress, burnt out, irritability, hatred, and impatience. So I think like the elements that represent each dosha has something to go, like it has something to do with who you are, like which element you have the most, which element you need to balance. So let's go to Kappa. Kappa is earth and water. You know that earth is about like grounding. It's about fertility, abundance, strength, and wisdom. And we just did water. We know that water is like emotional, right? That emotional, that peace, that compassion. So Kappa is heavy, slow, cold, oily, soft, dense, and liquid. And Kappa is in charge of the structure in your body, like your bone density, your strength, and stamina. And so if I haven't already, the book that I am studying from is The Idiot's Guides to Ayurveda. I got this off of Amazon. It is Sahara Rose Katabi with foreword by Deepak Chopra. I'm going to put the link to this on I've been saying the thing wrong the whole time, on my Spaces members app. So we have a Spaces member app. I have the link going to be in the description under this. And you can join that. That's where we have like posts. We have like that's where my blogs are. We can kind of connect with each other on there. So, and I'm also doing like y'all know I'm an artiste. So I'm doing like this series of kind of like outer worldly beings on my YouTube channel. That should be on there. All the bio everything is in like the bio link. So if y'all want to follow that series, just a little commercial. So now back to the program. So Kappa is in charge of your bone density and your strength. And so when your Kappa is out of balance, you experience feeling cold all the time, clammy hands, weight gain, lethargy, mucus buildup, white coated tongues. We're going to talk about tongue scraping too. Asthma, phlegm, infection, swelling, and water retention. So unbalanced, when it's unbalanced in your digestive system, it is slow metabolism, heaviness after meals, slow and sticky stools, and bloating. When it's unbalanced in your mind, it includes laziness, depression, loneliness, longing, sadness, jealousy, and attachment. So those were like the like when your Kappa is out of balance, and that's pretty much like the symptoms that you're going to look for. So next we're going to go into the types. Like they have, like here in the book, they have the Vata as being really slim, and they have the Pitta as being like muscular toned weight for both men and women, and the Kappa is a little bit more bigger bone bodies. So Vata types, we're going to look at each type of dosha. So Vata types, mentally they are quick and creative. They always on the move and thinking of the next big thing. Vatas can get bored easily if they're in one place for too long. They can't sit still. They always looking for a challenge. So they also named some people who are also like celebrities that are also Vata types. So Steve Jobs was Vata type. Picasso, any artist, writer, philosophy, or visionary would be an example of Vata. And so physically, we already talked about how Vatas, they really cannot sit still. That's probably why we are so slim, because we really can't sit still. Even our minds continue to race nonstop. Even when we're sleeping, it's continue. I'm not reading this is what I'm saying, but that's just how it is. Like it's just like, you ever had that friend who can't sit still? Like I would be that friend that can't sit still. Like we know that Virgo, and I'm also a Virgo, so our work is our thing. That's what we do. So the obstacle for Vatas is that all this movement in their minds can sometimes go haywire. They don't know how to put a stop to their thoughts. Just like I said, they go from brainstorming genius ideas to overanalyzing to overanalyzing pointless situations, repeating conversations in their heads. This makes them easily distracted, and they sometimes can go off on tangents. Wow. That is crazy. Like when I read this, when I was doing my class, like I'm finished with this class now. It's been like 2 weeks since I've been done with it. I made like a 94, a 98. It was something like that my final grade was. But when I read this and I see how accurate it was, like as far as the being in your head all the time and going on tangents, oh my gosh. It never stops. So and like just as easily as valets can think of an idea, they can also lose it. They have a hard time remembering their own thoughts. Like it's like short-term memory often suffers because they are off in their own heads. These commercials, meditation can feel next to impossible especially when you don't have like your thoughts and your mind under control. Like it can seem like it's impossible and like it's the hardest, most difficult thing to do, which I learned that you can't completely stop your thoughts, but you can kind of like just slow them down a little bit, slow them down. Like I just said, we'll go on tangents. So you got to slow it down. When they are sitting still, sometimes anxiety creeps in. So the biggest task for them is to settle their minds and become present, like I just said. So we all have Vata moments. We're overwhelmed, anxious, and a little stuck in our heads. It's normal to feel this way. At times we live in a Vata-centric society. Most of us are multitasking and doing 12 things at once, especially with children. This makes it especially difficult for us to stay centered. So in order for you to ground down and pacify your Vata or lessen your Vata energy, you don't have to be a Vata person to feel anxious. It just means you are currently have a Vata imbalance. We're going to talk about how you get your dosha in balance and how you counterbalance your primary dosha. So they're extremely, however, some people just are more prone toward feeling this way, and those are the Vata types. They have an especially hard time staying grounded and are often very flighty, moody, and changeable. They're extremely sensitive to their environments, and even a sound can disrupt them. Yeah. These types must pay particularly attention to pacifying their Vata because they are more at risk of feeling the side effects. So the snapshot of Vata types is that the Vata's mind is creative. The Vata body, they have a lean body. Their obstacles are sticking to one idea, and the imbalance is anxiety and digestive trouble. So if you are Vata, if you did your test and you are Vata, so your imbalance will have you pay more attention to your digestive system and making sure you're getting the right nutritions into your digestive system so that it can assimilate, that acne, that fire can burn. Pitta types. So mentally, Pittas are ambition. They are hardworking. That's probably why they have their bodies are like muscular tone like that. They focus and complete one task before starting another. They are very strong leaders, and they often do good in management. They have very organized minds and work on their schedule. So, and they always follow through with the task, no matter how much it takes. So once again, they have like the different celebrities who are Pitta types. Kobe Bryant was one. Any manager, professional athlete, lawyer, or financial analyst would be an example of Pitta types. So the Pitta type is, they need a good workout. They have a great deal of fire energy within them, and it needs to be released. And I feel like if it don't be released, that's where the anger comes in at. Like if they can't release that, because my kid's dad is a Pitta. And if they can't release that, then it like turns into anger. If they can't release that or work out that fire, that burning fire that's within, it's like it turns into anger. And it's very annoying. So let's get back to this. So they need a good workout. They love to exhaust their bodies and use their muscles. They are naturally competitive. That's why any professional athlete we already know they are Peter types because they are very professional, because they are like naturally competitive. So like in sports and boot camps and stuff, they so the obstacle for Peters is that all this fire in their bodies can transform into fire within their minds. They may become angry. Oh yeah, I just said that. They hold themselves at a very high standard and demand others do the same. Peters can be seen as intimidating for this reason. So Peters also are prone to burnout because they don't know how to take a rest. They don't know how to sit their ass down. Like, oh my gosh, the fire is always burning from within. And it's like, oh my goodness, they are so used to having a great deal of energy that they oftentimes overpass their limits, which leads to a burnout. It's like if you don't know your limit and then you experience a burnout, it's like now you have to gain all of that energy back. And the way that you gain energy back is by, eating nutritiously. Like, you don't have to take all these different pills and supplements and energy drinks. Energy drinks are so bad. You don't have to drink all of that stuff in order for you to retain your energy back. It's like we try to get energy like the cheap way or kind of like the lazy way, when the lazy way gonna get your ass unhealthy by the time you about 50. So yeah. And so that just go for anybody, not just Peters, because everybody experience like a burnout. Some people just don't know their limits, or they just feel like their time is running out, or whatever the case is. So they have difficulty seeing the benefits of taking it easy and want to get as much done. Yeah, I just pretty much said that. This causes their mental health to suffer, leaving them prone to adrenaline fatigue. The biggest task for Peters is to take things slow and to cool down. Now, like I said, we all have Peter energy within us. So it's just a matter of, slowing down and taking a break. The mind and the body cannot always be operating at 100 miles per hour. Even if you aren't Peter type, like I said, and you notice you have less patience and you are snapping at those around you more often, you may even crash or blow up like an erupting volcano. And these are Peter moments. Like I said, when they don't get enough rest or when they hot and stuff, like that's when they become frustrated. And sometimes that frustration can frustrate other people in the house, because it's kind of like, you know how fire is. Once fire get a hold of something, it's done with. It's gone. So it's kind of like if you're around a Peter and they're like this, it's kind of like it's going to affect everybody in the household. So then there are those who seem to be like this all the time. This whole life is one giant to-do list from one project to the next. They don't know how to schedule downtime to their busy schedules. So that's what leaves them frustrated and feeling like they don't have enough time to do what they want to do, or to do things that they enjoy doing. To them, the time is money and is better not be wasted. And if you try to get them to stop, they'll bite. Yep, they will. So Peter types to settle down and take it easy, because like I just said, for Peter types to settle down and take it easy, because they're at risk of losing their friends and loved ones, especially more sensitive Vata and calm Kappa types. That's what I mean, that fire. Like when you have people, when Kappa's types are around and they're in a negative, angry energy, it affects everybody. So the Peter types summed up is: the Peter mind is ambitious. The Peter's body is athletic. The Peter's obstacles is burnout, and their imbalance is anger and heartburn. Now we're moving on to Kappa types. So Kappa types, mentally, they are peaceful, they're patient, and they're easygoing. They take time to do a thorough job. They are natural caregivers and tend to the needs of those around them, often before their own. Their kindness is their strength, and they go out of their way to please their loved ones. They are extremely loyal and keep their friendships and relationships for a long haul. They thrive with people in one-on-one scenarios and make great listeners and counselors. They work well with hands and enjoy cooking, gardening, or design. Patience is their virtue. They are extremely reliable. So the celebrity Kappas are Oprah Winfrey and Rachel Ray. Pretty much any caregiver, hospital worker, therapist, school teacher, or nurse will be an example of Kappa. So physically, Kappas, they complement on their big eyes, full lips, and angelic voices. They naturally have curvy bodies. They have a strong stamina out of all the doshas. They can become out of balance if they allow their sedentary nature to take over and resist exercise, causing them to feel heavy and put on weight. So the obstacle for Kappa is they're so busy ensuring that everyone else is okay that they forget to take care of themselves. They always listen to other people's problems. They always putting a smile on their face, but they can also be sad within. They feel like they are alone and they never let it show. So Kappas overeat and become overweight due to this prolonged sadness. So, and this is what have them indulging into things. And because it's like they get all their energy to other people and then they don't have any energy for themselves. So this what leads to also to them prone to depression because of the long-standing sorrow. They isolate themselves from others and put this grief upon themselves because they don't want to burden other people or tell other people their problems, but other people come tell them their problems. Like, oh my goodness. Unlike Valors, you have to tell everyone what's going on, and Peters, who erupt at others but then get over it. Kappas hold things within themselves. This makes them become heavier with both weight and emotional grief. I had a balance of both Vata and Kappa types. And so everybody has like dealt with, a time where they felt depressed or something like that, or dealt with like the Kappa blues. Nothing excited is around. You want to stay in bed all the time. We can do that sometimes, but like it's important to bounce back by stimulating your body and your mind to regain that life force. You don't want other people's problems to weigh you down to where you taking on their issues and their problems, and it's making you gain weight and making you sad and uncomfortable. And then most Kappas may be clairvoyant or empaths too. We take on people's energies as our own, and I have learned not to do that. I mean, I'm still working on it, but I have learned not to do that because it's like, why the hell am I sad? It's like pretty much taking on people's issues more than your own. It's like you can give people advice, but you have to also give people space to learn how to work out their own issues. Like, it's nothing more disrespectful to a empath or to a counselor than them having to tell you the same thing over and 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 over. That gets so frustrating. It gets so frustrating and it gets tiring. So, exercise is extremely medicinal to combat excess Kappa energy. Although it seems difficult to take exercise when you're feeling down, it's going to really stimulate you and get you and stimulate your mind and get you back into that energy flow and stuff. So Kappas also like to stay active and mentally stimulate so they don't become idle. They may have a hard time getting out of their comfort zones, and that's how they grow. To cultivate more creative, Vata and ambitious Pitta in their lives, they need to start leading more active, dynamic lifestyles. So the ideas will flow once the mind and body have been set in motion. So here's the snapshot of the Kappas. Kappa's mind is peaceful, their body is rounded, their obstacle is putting others before self, and their imbalance is depression and weight gain. That's gonna complete it for our different dosha types. So next we're gonna learn about the qualities of and understanding the doshas. So that's probably the next thing that we're going to talk about. And then we're going to get into balancing your qualities. They may be, I'm going to write that down, that may be on the same one since that one is so short. But I appreciate you all for taking the time to listen. I hope that everyone is checking out the what is called the Spaces members app, and continually doing your health work and everything. I may have another past podcast coming up, I don't know, but I'll let y'all know what's going on. And I want everybody to take care of themselves, surrounded by people who are loving on you, protecting you, and everything like that. So until next time, gods and goddesses, peace.